Okay, today is Saturday, 2nd November, about 10 a.m. Air temperature later in the day will still be a bit above 30 degrees centigrade, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. When will autumn get here? We should already be in the very pleasant mid 20 degrees centigrade by now. So the garden plant for today is this jackfruit tree. My wife likes planting seeds from fruit she buys, and she planted a seed from a jackfruit about 10 years ago, and this is the first fruit it's produced. Might be the only fruit, I don't know. But that's what it's looked like. That's what it looks like. Hopefully it'll grow big enough to eat. Wrap some gauze around it to stop the insects getting to it. At one time I had a few aquarium shrimp in a tank, and they really love to eat jackfruit leaves. I dry the leaves in the sun, put them in there, and quite quickly the leaves would be eaten. I don't have shrimp anymore. So back to the Medaka. Now, I've had a few of what I believe to be Hainan Medaka for a while now. Haven't mentioned them before because I wanted to wait and see if they had a reasonable chance of surviving and becoming established as a strain. They now look healthy and happy, well, they're very, very shy, and have started to produce eggs. So I'll ramble on a bit about what I know about Hainan Medaka. So first, a bit of background. Throughout the countries that grow rice, there are several different species of native fish that have taken advantage of the rice growing environment, if you like, to establish themselves as rice fish. But rice fish are normally thought of as being the Japanese. However, the species called Medaka in Japan, which has the scientific name of Oryzias latipes, is also found, maybe with slight variations, in other areas of Asia, such as Korea and China. Just that the Japanese are the only ones, I think, who've bred the species to produce the colourful, cultivated, mutant variations of Medaka like these. Various sorts and colours that there are, but 2,000 miles away from Japan, in subtropical areas of North Vietnam and along the adjacent South China coastline, there's a similar species called Oryzias curvinotus. I think they're called curvinotus because maybe they've got a slightly more curved back than the latipes. And because this fish can be found in the extensive rice fields in Hainan, which is a large island off the southern coast of China, it's called Hainan Medaka. And there are a few of them in this tub here. Not sure how well they show up. They're a wild version. I don't think they've ever been bred to produce different colour mutations. so they're very like understated fish. And although these tubs, these fish, I think were raised in tubs, they are, you know, the wild variety. They're sort of not particularly calm and friendly coming to the surface. Okay, you can see maybe one or two here, and they're quite small. Now you can see here that you know, body shape similar to Japanese Medaka, and sort of a light brown colour with some yellow markings, I think, on the fins maybe. Not easy to see because they don't stay still. And sometimes, if you see the correct lighting, you can see they have blue eyes. And you know, they're pretty small, but they are producing eggs. Oh, and they look lively enough and happy enough in there. And another view of them. I'll try moving in and out, see how well I can get the focus. Sometimes it might be in focus, sometimes it might not be. I've only got this old Chinese brand phone that I record these videos on. Camera maybe is not that fantastic. And my microphone is probably even worse. Very occasionally we're under a flight path. You maybe hear a plane going overhead. We don't notice them, but the microphone really picks up and amplifies the background noise. Also, there's a bit of a hill outside the property, and a few trucks go up and down, and the microphone recording, it sounds very loud. Again, we don't notice them, just background noise. Let me try another view. So there's the side view. As you can see, they're sort of like a fairly transparent silver colour, maybe on the underside, and a bit of brown. And I think sometimes, depending on what the background colours are, then maybe you can see a bit of yellow. They do change quite significantly to match the background colour. At the beginning I had these in a very dark tub, and they turned almost very dark brown looking from the top, keeping them in a lighter tub, lighter coloured tub. You can see them a bit better. And occasionally, as I say, if you get the light in the right direction, their eyes might look a bit blue. Now, I think the breeding process is similar to Japanese Medaka, and I've read that Hainan and Japanese Medaka may interbreed, but the first generation of hybrid males are always sterile. So, as far as I know, a hybrid strain is not produced. A few things I've noticed where my Hainan Medaka are perhaps different from my Japanese Medaka. Firstly, you know, cultivated Japanese Medaka may try to jump out of a net, but they don't try very hard. But these Hainan Medaka, they always try to jump very high, trying to escape. Secondly, my Japanese Medaka all prefer to swim at the water surface, with these Hainan Medaka seem to appear to prefer swimming at mid-depth. And thirdly, my Japanese Medaka all enthusiastically approach people that go near the tubs, and they appear to have the Medaka appear to have a high learning ability to get food. They know, to get excited and when food is going to come along. However, the Hainan Medaka are still scared of people, I think, and they don't usually come to the surface looking for food. Now, it may be that these different characteristics between Hainan and Japanese Medaka may be because the Hainan Medaka have still not completely settled down to the new environment in the tub. However, they're healthy and producing eggs, so it may be that perhaps because they're a wild variety, they just behave differently from the cultivated Japanese Medaka strains I have. But on the other hand, perhaps these differences are not unusual. One thing I remember reading from somewhere, there are several standard inbred Medaka strains that have been very rigorously produced for laboratory use, research use. So wherever you are in the world, if you use one of these strains, you're going to get the same results if you're using them for research. And some of these strains that I've read about display some of these different characteristics. One of the standard strain, the fish swim at the surface. Other strains swim at mid-depth. Some of the standard strains, are easy to tame, and other strains can never become tame, etc., etc. So yeah, there are differences recorded depending on the type of strain of Medaka you've got. Maybe perhaps an important selling point if you're going to produce a new cultivated Medaka strain that you want to sell is you want to try to ensure the new strain is easily tamed and happy to interact with people. Somebody would prefer seeing Medaka on the surface and approaching people for food rather than having very timid Medaka that hide away all the time. But anyway, I'm now getting way out of my depth in talking about this sort of stuff, so I'll stop. Just to say that the Hainan Medaka may not look any spectacular colours. They don't have spectacular colours. They're just very understated, plain Medaka, and they don't swim at the surface, so you tend not to see them as much as the cultivated strains of Japanese Medaka. However, for me, they've got their own charm, and it'll be interesting to see if the eggs hatch out, how the fry turn out, and maybe these Hainan Medaka will become tamer the longer they stay in this tub. Okay,